Gamers, welcome back. Dragon Age Origins, episode 57. We're back. We're exploring Orzammar a little more, picking up a bunch of side quests. We've heard things about the Deep Roads. I don't know much more about it than what we've heard. I've heard about something involving Dust Town. I'm still looking to find these two floor carving.
This should be easy enough.
The city of Orzammar. What did it say on the layout? I missed it. Codex update? The city of Orzammar. The dwarves are lauded for their craftsmanship, and the city of Orzammar is one of the finest works. Orzammar lies at the heart of the Frostback Mountains, deep underground. The city arcs outwards from the royal palace, which is built around a natural lava vent, continually fountaining liquid rock, which both lights and heats the entire cavern. The topmost tier of Orzammar is home to the noble Caste, with their palaces fanning out in both directions from the court of the king, as well as the Shaperate, which serves as a repository for all dwarven knowledge. The lower tier is the commons, where the merchants' castes holds sway and where the finest works of Orzammar craftsmanship are for sale. In the center of the river of lava connected to the commons by a causeway are the Proving Grounds, a sacred arena where the dwarves, by ancient tradition, settle their disputes. On one side of the fiery river are the ruins of the old dwarven palaces, fallen into disrepair, which the locals call Dust Town, now home to the city's casteless. On the other side of the river are the Deep Roads, which once joined the sprawling dwarven empire together, but now, after centuries of darkspawn incursion, are largely sealed off. Nearly all knowledge of this network of underground passages has been lost, even to its builders. Interesting. So, Dust Town is basically where the homeless are, if you have no job, whatever, if you're useless to society, essentially. And the Deep Roads are their travel routes or trade routes that are now closed off because they know that darkspawn attacks have been happening more and more, and they just closed those routes off. They're like secluding themselves underground, right? So, and then the Proving Grounds dead ahead is where you would go to settle your beef. So let's look at our quest log and see where we're looking for Vartag Gavorn and Dulin Ferender. You can find Dulin in either Harrowmount's estate in the Diamond Quarter or in Tapester's Inn, but he wasn't in the inn, or the Tapester's Tavern, excuse me. And then Vartag, you must speak to Vartag. Vartag may be found in the Assembly Chamber, which is in the Diamond Quarter. And the Diamond Quarter would be in... over here. Demons are drawn to mages, and should they ever succeed in possessing one, they transform them into an abomination, a terrifying and intelligent monster with access to great magical powers. Adal Helmi.
You have come at a difficult time. Orzammar is ailing for want of a king.
Okay.
Could the end of Orzammar be nigh? Turn to Lord Harrowmont and assure the future of dwarven society.
A crier. Harrowmont's estate. Weird. Dulin.
I heard there was a Grey Warden here. I am Dulin Ferender, second to Lord Harrowmont, King Endrin's own choice as successor. Word is spreading that the surface may suffer a blight. It is shameful we are not in a better position to help.
I would like to speak to Lord Harrowmont.
In an ordinary time, Lord Harrowmont would be honored to meet you. Unfortunately, we've already caught more than one of Bhelen's spies approaching Harrowmont under a pretense of friendship. So I'm afraid I won't be able to take your word. If you want to speak to Harrowmont, you will need to prove he can trust you.
How can I prove I'm not working for
That's a
Bhelen?
generous offer. If you mean it, you might attend the proving today. The Deshers take it very seriously. And unfortunately, Bhelen found some way to blackmail or intimidate House Harrowmont's best fighters into stepping down.
Why would your assembly care who wins some tournament?
The proving is a contest of the best warriors in Orzammar. By fighting, they show who has the ancestors' favor. If you were to enter the proving as Lord Harrowmont's champion, it would prove your loyalty beyond a doubt. Bhelen would never work with anyone who humiliated him in that way. Harrowmont would have no fear of meeting with you then.
I don't want to start picking
Then I'm
sides.
afraid your only choice is to wait until there's a winner. Lord Harrowmont cannot risk his life working with someone of unproven loyalties. If you change your mind, let me know. The proving is this afternoon, and Lord Harrowmont could certainly use you on his side.
A lord's trust, the first task. Okay. I want to hear more about Bhelen and his side and see how his people kind of feel, get the vibe of them. Because I'm assuming you can choose here. And I'll make my decision after we talk to Bhelen. Heyo.
Right.
Metal kite shield. Terracy.
You must be under great strain with the blight upon the land. I will pray to the stone for you.
That's so cool, they pray to stones. Oh, hello. Did I level up off that? I did. Dwarven heavy armor. Level 14, you know what I mean? Let's go. Let's go 28 cunning, 20 constitution, and then after this we're going to start putting more points into probably dex, just raw dex, maybe some strength as well. Like strength is pretty solid, but 28 cunning I'm happy with. Some raw strength helps our just, you know, damage. I have another point. Oh, you can just choose. I guess I'm specializing in assassin. So now we are a assassin duelist. I'll put a point in trap making. Will be improved trap making. Mark of death. The assassin marks a target, revealing weaknesses that others can exploit. All attacks against a marked target deal additional damage. Exploit weaknesses. A keen eye and a killer instinct helps the assassin exploit target's weak points. During a successful backstab attack, the assassin gains additional damage based on cunning. So we want to get cunning up even more. Interesting. Whenever a backstab deals enough damage, the assassin's foe is riddled with bleeding wounds that inflict additional damage for a short time. Feast of the Fallen. The assassin thrives on the moment of death. Stamina is partially restored when the assassin fells an opponent with a backstab. That's insane. I really want to get these going because this seems really good. So, and they're all basically passive. We have one active. Elite. Gonna be pulling the bars down a little bit. Whoops. Oh, I messed up now. I have like a bar bug or something. Hopefully that'll go away when we save and reset. Pull me down one more. I like that, yeah. I don't think our character is going to get many more skills than what we have. Save it up. Let me see if I can load this and maybe it'll fix that little UI bug, but if not, whatever. We'll go speak with Bhelen. Okay, it did. Cool. See if we can find Bhelen's representative.
News of the hour. Lord Harrowmont's insinuations against Lord Bhelen reveal the truth. Could Harrowmont be the true cause of King Endrin's death? Shocking allegations.
So, how
More
is it the
news
dwarves
tonight.
have a king? I thought they voted on everything, or something like that.
Chamber of the Assembly. The Shaperate. I think we need to go here anyways. Oops. It's about as far over here as you can go. Shake the Shaperate. Oh yeah.
Who would dare take from the memories? Warden, I'm outraged. A thief in the Shaperate. What have we been reduced to?
Did you get a good look at him?
I did. He was bald, with the most garish brand across his head. Almost like he took pride in being casteless. Imagine. He's probably in the slums somewhere. As if he'd find a buyer for a stolen tome in Dust Town. They couldn't know the value.
Thief in the House of Learning. Orta.
Oh, pardon me. Were you looking for a particular volume? Not that I could really help. I don't know the libraries very well. I'm just doing some research.
What kind of research?
I was looking for something about the Orton Tig. It was lost during the last blight. And there aren't many
Orton
records
Tig.
left. They were a noble house once, descended from the Paragon Orton, who composed the grand epic of the Seven Brothers and the Ortonic Symphony. My mother's family believes they were descended from Kalana Orton, who was training in Orzammar when the Tig fell. I'm even named for the house, Orta. Unfortunately, any records would be buried in the Tig's ruins, somewhere in the deep roads.
I could try to find them.
You're from the surface. What do you know about fighting Darkspawn? There aren't even any expeditions planned until they settle this election. Otherwise, you need special permission from the Assembly or some great lord.
I'm a Grey Warden.
A Grey Warden? Mother always said that if anyone could find the Tig, it was the Wardens. I hear Prince Bhelen and Lord Harrowmont have both been sending out small teams these days. Yes, if you can find the Tig in any records, that could do it. That could prove I'm a noble. If you could. Maybe now that you're looking. It's almost too much to hope.
Lost to the New Memories. I was going to say, there's probably a lot of books in here that we can read. The Legion of the Steel. Concerning the loss of the Legion of Steel. The Legion of Steel. Paragon Caridin vanished in the 11th year of the reign of King Voltor, and with the Paragon the entire process for golem manufacture was lost. Expeditions were sent into the deep roads to track him, but the Darkspawn drove them all back. Finally, in the 2nd year of the reign of the Queen Getha, 126 golems, the entire Legion of Steel, were sent to recover the Paragon. None returned. The Shaper of Golems refused to support any further attempts to find Caridin, trying to get this name right, Caridin, and the Paragon was officially declared dead. The Shaperate never recovered from the loss of an entire legion of golems, and never again allowed in an all-golem regiment in the deep roads. Damn. So they had a really bad loss of golems, and they were like, yeah, this will never happen again. Just kind of making sure... Seeing if any of these books You know, maybe we get some lore out of them. You guys know me, I love the lore. Shaper.
When I last walked this hall, Endrin was king and Orzammar was at peace. The memories often speak of the swiftness with which change overtakes us. But it is different to see it firsthand. I apologize, Warden. I should not burden a stranger with such thoughts. I am Zebor, the Shaper of Memories.
Zebor. Shaper of Memories.
The Shaperate guards Orzammar's knowledge. We have preserved in Lyrium all of the records of dwarven history. The memories record all. They are how we know to which family a child owes life, how we trace lost ties. They ensure we forget nothing of our past, good or bad.
Let's talk about Orzammar, Lord Shaper.
Ask, and I shall do my best to answer.
How did the caste system come to be?
According to our legends, 7 brothers founded our empire. The youngest, Bloadlik, was the wisest and was chosen king. His children formed the noble caste. The eldest, Giachet, trained his sons to defend their faith. They became the warrior caste. Shatyar founded the artisans. Orzatyar forged our first swords. It was Orzammar who dug the mines that became our city's foundations. The twins Koapar and Noct both founded trading houses, but Noct was wounded in battle. On his recovery, he swore to serve his brother's sons.
What about the casteless?
Casteless descend from criminals and those repudiated by their own families, or who chose to go to the surface and live by human laws. They have no ancestors to guide them and no families to claim them. They should not have been born. Their parents defied their shame and brought cursed children into the world.
Damn.
It's better they die young.
Seems easy for you to dismiss them.
Their births are not recorded in the memories. In Orzammar, they do not exist. Is there something more pleasant you wish to discuss?
Let's go back to my first
Please,
questions.
Speak your mind.
I'd like your permission to open a chantry here.
That is an odd request, especially for one so new to our city.
Come on behalf of Brother Burkle, a cleric of Redcliffe.
I thought so. This is not the first time he's made this plea. My answer to Brother Burkle hasn't changed. So I ask you the same. On what basis would you have me insult the ancestors and overturn 2,000 years of tradition?
The chantry's charities could greatly aid Orzammar.
Brother Burkle said as much. But Orzammar is more than capable of caring for its own.
What harm would it do to let him preach?
Wherever this chantry has spread among humans, it replaced all beliefs preceding it. Were we to let these preachers into Orzammar, how long before the ancestors stop hearing the voices praising them?
I mean, he makes a good point, man. I mean, his point is so well made, I don't want to finish the quest. Let's talk about something else.
I'm the man to ask if you wish to access the memories of the ancestors. What is it you would know?
I should leave.
You are an outsider, Warden, but not outside the law. I hope you will not do anything to challenge the stability of Orzammar.
I don't want to, like, threaten him. I kind of agree with him. Like, why am I trying to bring in an outside religion if they're happy with how things are going here, right? Like, Orzammar's politics. That's one that I can't. I'm sorry, boys. You guys know me. Sometimes I skip them. That's one we're skipping. We might come back to it another day or at a different time and just, you know what, let's whip up Orzammar's politics. Not today. Traditional dwarven folk songs. Nug sits in the mud, Nug wiggles his ears, you catch the Nug, he slips away, Nug gets to live another day. Nug sits in the mug, Nug wiggles his toes, You hook the nug, he slips away. Now the nug runs off to play. Nug sits in the mud, nug wiggles his nose. You tickle the nug, he laughs away. Now the nug sits on my plate. Doo-doo. That's the Nug song. Nug Pancakes, a well-loved dwarven nursery rhyme. Man, I loved growing up on Nug Pancakes. Those were the days. Gloves of diligence? These are heavy gloves. 4 armor. These must be the search for the true prophet. This tattered tome explores the possibility that Andraste was a powerful mage and not the Maker's chosen. It seems this book was saved from a fire at some point. Would this be better for Wynne? I think so. Or maybe even Liliana. I think Liliana is actually, like, extremely religious.
As you wish.
Legion of the Dead. Legion of the Dead. Yes. Stone's greeting, friend. You will fight ceaselessly in the Legion of the Dead. Motto of the Legion of the Dead. The Legion accepts all. So I was told by one of the Legionnaires himself. A dwarf who waited quietly at the entrance to the deep roads for the rest of his unit to assemble. They gathered slowly, each equipped with heavy armor and fine weapons, each painted with grim tattoos applied at their funerals the night previous. That's cool. For that is the nature of the Legion. They are all dead. Any dwarf may join the Legion, so long as he is willing to give up everything he has. The funeral rites are somber. A final goodbye is said to the family and loved ones. Any material goods are dispersed to heirs, and last words are said. And then it's done. The new legionnaire marches out into the deep roads, never to return. The Legion fights against the Darkspawn to the last, striking one final blow against the monster they have claimed so much of their homeland. That have claimed so much of their homeland, excuse me. So essentially they're like Knights of the Night Watch or whatever in Game of Thrones. Many join the Legion to clear the slate. Criminals join to avoid punishment. Exactly, yeah. This is Game of Thrones inspired for sure. The dishonored join so that their houses and families need not suffer on their behalf. The bankrupt join so their debts might be forgiven. A very few join for a last chance at glory, but the Legion takes them too. This group hopes to reach the fabled fortress of Orzammar, once the Legion's home, associated with the greatest of their paragons. Orzammar is a holy place. Its loss, the last great blow against the dwarven kingdoms, and its recapture would be a glorious signal to all of Orzammar. But capture it or no, all of these warriors will die in the deep roads. It is a sombering thought, and I now know why the dwarves say the Legion's charge is the battlefield's most frightening sight. They have nothing left to lose. Hey, this is from Brother Genetivi. Interesting. That was a pretty good story. All right. I mean, again, I might be okay with not getting this quest done.
Ah, you return, Warden. Is there more you would know from Orzammar's memories?
Let's talk about Orzammar.
And I shall do my best to answer.
Tell me some of its history.
We were a great empire once, outnumbering even humans and elves. We traded with your Tevinter Imperium, and our land stretched as far in the deep roads as theirs did above. Kal Shirok was capital then, but we lost too many battles. We lost our golems, and we lost our territory. Now the Empire is simply ruined tunnels filled with Darkspawn.
How did you lose your golems?
The Paragon Caridon, a smith of unsurpassed genius,
We read this story.
invented the golems. For years they were our weapon against the Darkspawn. One golem is worth a dozen dwarves in battle, but Caridon's Tig is far into the deep roads. When it fell, we lost his secret to creating golems. There are books about it along these walls if you would read more.
What is a Tig?
They are to us what a colony is to surfacers.
Where is this Kal Shirok?
At the other side of the old empire. During the last blight, the kings of Orzammar knew they couldn't hold everything. They sealed the deep roads, abandoning everyone still trapped in far-flung settlements.
Dang.
It was the only way to survive. Kal Shirak is the only other city to outlast the Blight. We only rediscovered them recently, and they still haven't forgiven us.
I mean, I don't blame them, yeah. Well, what are these deep roads that I keep hearing about?
They were once our highways beneath the mountains. Now the Darkspawn claim them and few venture there.
I thought
except
so.
your order, who enter the deep roads when they retire, so they can die slaughtering as many Darkspawn as possible.
Well, I should get going.
Your presence here has been recorded in the memories. I wish I knew what significance it has.
I am probably gonna skip this quest. I mean, I don't disagree with him. What right does the Chantry have to come in here and kind of just try and wipe out 2,000 years of history and religion and choice that these people want, you know, themselves? I think we need to go into... He's in the assembly chamber. It's gotta be it.
This should be easy.
Vartog, I think is his name. Vartag.
Warden, welcome. It is always a blessing for Orzammar to host your order. I am Vartag Gavorn, top advisor to our good Prince Bhelen. What news do you bring?
I need aid against a blight.
Yes, the treaty. I've seen it in the Shaper's libraries. Now the difficulty is that the treaty only compels our king, and we are sadly lacking one of those right now.
Can I talk to Bhelen?
You must understand, Harrowmont hides behind his good reputation while sending spies and assassins. Bhelen can't know who to trust. It's been like a knife in the heart for Bhelen to see so many of his father's men stand with the usurper.
I thought King Edrin himself supported Harrowmont.
That hurts worst of all. That Harrowmont would take advantage of the dying king's delirium to plant such poisonous suspicions against his own son. After that, you understand why Bhelen cannot trust the word of a stranger, however reputable that stranger might be.
What must I do to prove my intentions?
Harrowmont has engaged in a campaign of bribery and coercion to ensure that every house serves him. But if a neutral party, a stranger, were to approach certain key members, perhaps with irrefutable evidence of Harrowmont's deception...
Irrefutable evidence? Which I suppose you have?
I'm certain my Lord Prince would show his gratitude.
What kind of evidence?
Harrowmont promised the same portion of his estate to two different Deshers, Lady Dace and Lord Helmy. Harrowmont can't possibly grant it to both of them, but they won't find out until after the vote is cast. I have copies of the promissory notes Harrowmont gave each of them. Once they see those, they should both reconsider their votes.
I'll have to think about this.
Don't expect this offer to last. If my prince hears you swear allegiance to his enemy, he won't be so friendly next time. I will be here if you change your mind.
It's interesting. A prince's favor. So do we choose to side with the prince, or do we choose to side with the king's right-hand man? One is saying, my dad wanted me to be in charge, don't trust this other guy, he's a usurper, conniving, POS. The other guy's saying, the king himself said I should be in charge, I was there at his deathbed, I didn't kill him or do anything bad, but trust me, sorry, I'm the guy that should be in charge, right? I don't know enough about either to really make a choice yet, so I'm gonna try and poke around town a little more, talk to some of the locals, maybe get a little more background. I've gotten some. I am understanding that, you know, because of what I just said to you guys there, I get some of it, right? But Dulin?
Do you see how things lie, Warden? Lord Harrowmont cannot trust you unproven, but he welcomes a good faith gesture.
I still haven't decided if I want to help you.
Do not tarry. The proving starts this afternoon.
See if we can maybe speak to a merchant or a local, someone. What is this? The Royal Palace? Maybe someone in here might know a thing or two, can tell me about Bhelen a little more. I'd love to know some backstory. Yeah, these royal guards won't tell me anything. Any books? No.
No one enters the prince's estate without an invitation.
The prince values your support, Warden.
Let's get started.
These are just like the noble halls. This is where the king sits, I imagine. Nothing. That's lame. 3 rooms though. Stuff in here. Heyo. Dwarven mace for iridium. Leather helmet. We'll take it.
As you wish.
Chest. Another love letter. And a dwarven longsword. How many of these do we have? I think the newest entry is the last one. My love, I long to dance. Wait, did we read this one? To one's paramour. When last we embraced, one noticed the redolence of another's company, but one was unmindful. His most eminent Sir Feather. I think we did read that one. My love, I long to dance you beneath the moonlight, our hearts beating like the paired wings of a dove, in concert with the glory of the Maker and the beauty of the world that we must shepherd in his absence. Join me in a purity that will last the ages, when the brothers mark the chantry of light anew, with all my soul. Eric Deneleb. Scribbled below in delicate handwriting. Otter's pocket, here to tonight. Sneeze maybe? Hang on one sec. I think it's a one and done. Oh, Jesus. Tunneling thief, you idiot! This isn't the vault. We have to get out of here. Uh-oh.
Witnesses!
Witnesses.
Oh.
As you wish.
I don't know, man. I wish Druid was more useful. I feel like Morrigan's Druid is just not very useful. Like her Druidic forms. Maybe I needed to change and adjust her combat tactics a little more.
What's going on? By the ancestors. Good on you, Warden. You caught them in the act. I guess desperate times drive people to strange things. Thanks again, Warden.
Yeah, no problem.
Right.
A little footbath or something like that. The hell was that? I don't know what it's opening. All right, well. I guess we're going to wrap this one up here for now. I guess we're going to try and learn a little more next episode on who we want to side for and make a decision. So thanks for hanging out, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace and love, and God bless, gamers.